Injury bias. So it's a new week, and most importantly, it's a new phase. So this video is, as always, kind of an update video on where did we leave off, where we're kind of heading on. And in this video, what I thought I would do differently compared to the last one is, instead of just talking through a blank, not a blank, but a very kind of like still standing piece of paper, what I'll do in this one is I will kind of go through the week as I usually do, but I will do it with kind of like training examples for week one. So to see how the intention kind of matched the protocol or in the training program from here. So first off, let's go through the the phase notes. First of all, in the last couple of phases, what you've been seeing is that we've kind of been doing 5 weeks on, 1 week off, and that will conclude one phase. What we'll do in this one is we'll take the phase and stretch it out for 10 weeks. And the way we'll do it is we'll do it in 4 hard training weeks, 1 week of deload, 4 hard training weeks, followed by deload. And that final 10th deload week is kind of interlap with the whole Christmas and New Year's festivities, meaning that your deload will not, or your hard training weeks will not kind of interfere with the family stuff that you have to deal with in the Christmas months. So in this phase, what we'll be focusing on, I will, just as the last time, go through the different qualities or the different subcategories here. So for the strength one, we've kind of been back and forth between focusing on strength and improving it and then maintaining it. So one of the goals on the engine bias is to constantly improve your capacity to breathe. So the strength is kind of in a backseat, but I don't want to take it out completely just to make you feel weak or feel unprepared. It's just going to come any heavy weights. So the way we've been doing it up to this point is we have some phases where we focus on building some strength, and then we had a phase where we're kind of maintaining it. What we'll do now is, in these coming 10 weeks, we'll kind of like build the strength to a point where we're going to carry that top end strength at the end of the 10 week. We're going to take those numbers and kind of carry those with us up until the open and up until the quarterfinals. So we'll still touch strength training, but the top end where you feel you'll be the strongest is going to be in that period after these 10 weeks. Weightlifting. So in weightlifting, what we've been focusing a lot about is we're focusing on barbell cycling and speed, strength, endurance, meaning moving heavier weightlifting numbers repeatedly over and over and over. What we're going to do in this cycle is we're going to take the barbell cycling that we did from the last phase and the last phase again, and move it from an isolated format to this more CrossFit format. And pretty much just means that we've become very good at just doing barbell cycling with the volume and what it entails in a very isolated format. But what we'll do now is we'll kind of challenge those positions with interference models from breathing and lower back fatigue and grip fatigue and all that kind of thing, and kind of like challenge your positions and your movement patterns in different situations. You'll still have the options to go heavy. Like I said, Tuesdays will be the strength, speed, endurance. So you'll have to eat your veggies, so to say, to begin with, meaning that you'll do a lot of high rep stuff to start off with. But at the end of the session, you'll get a chance to go heavy and kind of feel those top end numbers. Saturdays will be heavy days, meaning that will be reserved for going heavy. And as I mentioned, going off these 10 weeks, at the 10th week, you will hopefully feel that you are the strongest that you can be or have been, and you're going to take that strength and carry it into the open prep. Gymnastics, we're going to continue to build the volume. So the last couple of months, you've been seeing that we had this interference model, just like we're doing in the barbell cycle. Now we're doing, or we have been doing in the gymnastics. We're going to continue this pattern, but we're really going to hammer on the volume aspects, because at the end of these 10 weeks, we're going to retest the 5-minute AMRAP scores, and we really want to build you into those tests and really want to make you feel comfortable about hitting the numbers that you hit, or even more reps than you hit in the tests that we hit in the off season. So volume is the key here, and we're going to build that volume in a mixed subset of interference categories. Engine, probably the most important one for this path. What we're going to do is we're still going to breathe. We're still going to breathe every day, and we're still going to breathe hard and not so hard, mixed in during the week. What we're going to do later on is we're going to kind of go through the week and focus on what is each individual sessions focusing on, how you should treat it, how you should go into it. But the biggest category, or the biggest switch from this one, is we're slowly going to switch over to some more mixed modal components, meaning that you've been doing a lot of cyclical stuff on the runner, on the skier, on the rower, etc., etc. But what we're going to do now is we're going to take that conditioning and that capacity that you built there and slowly build that into a more mixed modal setting. And mixed modal can be kind of like a vague term, but what I mean by it is more crossfit movements. So step ups, thrusters, burpees, kind of like more crossfit exercise selection than just moving on a bike and on a rower. Skill training will be kind of varied depending on what you hit during the week, and the skill trainings will be kind of like finalizing the touches for the week and making sure that we're addressing most of the components. Weekly schedule. So Monday, as I mentioned here, this is going to be the barbell interval stuff. You can see here that you have different kinds of barbell exercises. And what I want you to take away from this is the barbell exercises that you have here is kind of like the meat of the workout. And I want you to really focus on completing all the stuff around it, but really focusing on making the barbell exercise as smooth and efficient as possible. Remember to breathe, remember to move with as much efficiency and as little effort as possible. Snatching 40 kilos doesn't mean you have to set up in a perfect way. It doesn't mean you have to round your back, but treat a 40 kilo snatch like a 40 kilo snatch. You don't have to use all your powers. So really focus on these sessions, focus your attention on the barbell exercises and kind of like improve that aspect of your game whilst there's different CrossFit components around it. PM strength session, we're going to have some back squats. As I mentioned, we're kind of prioritizing strength a bit more. Going to have some back squats. We're going to do some upper body strength. This week is going to be strict deficit hands to push up. This could alternate for the weeks, but the main theme is this is an upper pressing strength. We're going to have some single leg unilateral strength accessories. This is going to vary quite a bit as well. And then skill sessions going to vary depending on what we hit during the week. This week is going to be some ring muscle up with some core fatigue. Tuesday, conditioning. First piece, machine-based, and the second piece, running-based. Both sessions, you either complete one of them, not both. So you're going to pick either a machine-based or a running-based. The theme about this one is getting long, sustained efforts, building that capacity, building that aerobic capacity, building your heart's ability to pump blood out in your body at a submaximal effort. Not much to it. There's a prescribed heart rate zone, stay within it. Not much to say here. Don't overdo it. I want you to stay within the heart rate zones and not push it too much, because that way we're not going to get the adaptations that we want to hit through these sessions. Weightlifting session, as I mentioned, you have to eat your veggies. So we're going to start off with some higher rep, but still kind of heavy snatches. We're going to do drop and go this week, but the intention is always we want to move some weightlifting exercises at some heavier weights. I'm going to do that a lot of times. That's pretty much the main intention of this third part. But as you can see, you will be given the option to go a bit heavier in the B part here. So eating your veggies and then treat yourself with some nice heavy lifting. Pull and push interference. Again, gymnastic volume, as I mentioned before. The goal is to build a lot of volume here in a mixed subset of scenarios. Again, just with the barbell exercise on Monday, the focus should really be about the gymnastics here. So focus on moving as well and as efficiently as you can on the gymnastic exercises and really treat those as the meat of the workout. Conditioning, Wednesday. This is the new implement of this cycle, and what it will be is it's going to be a very it's going to be longer AMRAPs of CrossFit workouts, so to say. But the way it's going to be programmed is it's going to be programmed in a way that you can kind of like blow up. So in the beginning, we're going to have some very low tension exercises, wall balls, double hand clean jerk, down ups. Like there's not any heavy squat cleans or heavy thrusters that's going to really spike your rate. So you should be able to keep these 28 minutes somewhat sustainable throughout. And that is really what we want to focus on, making a long effort with some more CrossFit exercises, a bit more aerobic or a bit more sustainable. What you'll see across the 10 weeks is that these exercises will become more and more and more challenging, in the sense that we will introduce thrusters and devil's press and all those kind of like tougher exercises that would put your heart rate a bit higher than just a wall ball, so to say. So you'll become very familiarized with this, and we're even going to extend these out to 40 minutes and beyond that for some point of this cycle. Deadlift, we're going to have some hinging strength, we're going to have some pulling strength mixed in between it. We're going to have some hamstring and glute accessory, not much to say here. It's a lot of pure strength training. And then we're going to have a metcon. In these metcons, what I really want you to focus on is, the most important thing is to pick your right skill level. So the goal of this session is to hit an intensity where you're not feeling like muscular fatigue or anything like that is the limiting factor. We really want you to push and push and push and feel like you can keep the intensity. If we had like a workout with pec boards and you couldn't do pec boards, you'll see that the intensity will drop. So the most important thing is that you match your skill level with the skill level of the session. So if you can't do more than 2 bar muscle ups, I would do chest to bar pull-ups, or as the intermediate option says here, you're going to do a certain prescribed time of bar muscle ups instead. So these workout sessions on the Wednesday, it's the most important thing. Pick your adequate skill level, because we want to make sure that the intensity is hitting where we want it to get. The stimulus is everything. Thursdays, you're gonna have some options to complete some movement work, and additionally, you have some low heart rate zone 2 work that you can do optionally. If you at the Thursday feel like you're really beaten up from Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I recommend just taking the day off. But if you feel good and you feel like you want to do some more breathing, you have the option of either a machine-based or a running-based longer conditioning piece with a low heart rate cap on it to build some more endurance. Friday, threshold training. This is going to be varied. It's going to be very CrossFit specific, meaning that you'll see all the different CrossFit exercises that you'll expect to see in the open and the quarterfinals. But the main intention is, again, we want to do a lot of work that is sustainable and repeatable over a long period of time, and repeat and repeat and repeat. This week is going to be an EMON format, but it could be an AMRAP format, or it could be something a third every 2 minutes, so to say. So again, the most important thing for this session is to keep it sustainable. And what I want you to do is, I want you to adjust the reps or the durations adequately to make sure that you're within a working period that makes sure that these efforts are sustainable. Today, we're going to do it with a 45-second mark, just to make sure that you have these 15 seconds of rest in between. So sustainable is key word here. Friday strength, some more squatting. Going to have some upper body strength in pull and push, some upper body strength accessory, and then some gymnastics with the same focus as on Tuesday. And on Saturday, your weekly chance to go heavy. So you're going to have some snatch and clean drag. Most often it will go both exercises during the same day, but this is going to be your weekly chance to go heavy. The whiteboard workout as your conditioning piece, and to finalize the day, we're going to have some gymnastics with the interference. So this is the week, this is the coming phase. This is going to be your training template for the coming 10 weeks. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to fire them over through Fitter. And as always, happy training.